What's going on, melon farmers? D-Mac back with another little video where we are finally going to go through what I've been using for my Be a Pro and franchise mode gameplay sliders, not for the YouTube series necessarily, but the ones that I do use personally. Anyway, you guys have been showing up for me so much the last little while. We are at 1,500 subscribers, up from 966 on October 7th. So what better way to spend your Saturday morning than with me looking at some gameplay sliders? Anyway, if you haven't already, scroll down, hit that like button, and let's just dive into her, man. So the first thing we're going to do is franchise mode, man. So I leave the gameplay style 4 out of 4. Take the attribute effects, pop them up to 10 out of 10. Broken stick frequency put down to about 27. And now personally, I take the game speed and put it on 0. 1, it's not that bad, but I like it 0 because I do like to just kind of relax, play some hockey, nothing too crazy. So I'm going to put it at 0 just for the sake of this video. Fatigue effect, I take it and put it up to 80 for human and for CPU for when it comes for like line changes and stuff like that. Otherwise, certain players seem to carry way too much load. Your fourth line guys just kind of get forgotten unless they get trapped on the ice and then your fourth line is dead and they're playing like 14 minutes a night because the clock does go by quicker. Fatigue recovery, I put down to 20. Now, last year it wasn't this extreme, but this year I find guys are not getting tired. Injury occurrence, I take it from 50 and put it to 48. Now, for the skating, I take player acceleration. We're going to leave that alone. We're not going to move that. Skating speed, human, put it down to 48 because the difficulty that I'm going to do with this is pro. If you're doing it on All-Star, most of the sliders stay the same except speed would be 50 and 50. If it's down on pro difficulty, you are naturally going to be faster than the guys you're playing against. So just take the human speed. The acceleration is fine, but take the human speed, put it down to 48. Otherwise, you are just way too much faster than the other team. This, put it down by 2, kind of evens everything out a little bit. Now for the shooting, one-timer accuracy, I'm going to take that down by 4. Shot accuracy, we're going to take it down by 3 to 42. Shot power, leave that alone. Slap shot accuracy down by 4 to 36. And there is your shooting. Passing is fine. Puck control is fine. Goalies, man. So goalie cover frequency, I put up to about 60. Goalie passing, leave that alone. Goalie cross crease reaction time, to be 100% honest, take that, put it all the way up. Human and CPU, I suppose, up to 56. Every single reaction time up to 56. Whoops, there we go. Goalie deflection reaction time. Now screen effect and everything, we can leave that alone. Screen persistence, leave it alone. But I just like goalies to cover the puck more frequently, and you gotta get that reaction time up. Otherwise, it's not so bad when you're first jumping into a franchise mode. Your team is more baseline. It's more realistic to the way hockey is right now. But after you get into year 2, year 3, year 4, when everybody's just better, all the teams are just absolutely stacked no matter what, you're going to have to turn all the reaction times all the way up to 60 in each one. And another thing, once you get deeper into this, you're going to have to take player acceleration down and you're going to have to take the speed way down. But for now, you can basically leave that alone for the goaltenders. To start year 1, I put them on about 56, and I find then you're getting like, 3-2, 4-2, maybe a 5-3 game, and that's about as big as it gets. If you're going up against a really bad team and you're a really good team, maybe you can blow a team out like 7-0 or like 8-1 or something, but they do get more rare. Checking and penalties, I do leave those alone because in this game, honestly, the penalties, they're actually not bad. I like the fact that the referees are really strict. I like the fact that they're strict. If you hit a guy from behind, even if you're both just standing in front of the net and you shove him from behind, you will get a cross-checking penalty or an interference penalty. And that is really the way they're calling it right now. Tripping in NHL 22, if you're using pro difficulty, tripping basically doesn't exist anymore. It's very rare to get a tripping penalty. Usually when you poke check into someone's skates, your stick just kind of bounces off them. And one big negative that I will say is your stick, it becomes like this weird like whip thing. It's like flying in all directions. You have no self-control when it comes to your stick, and your arms are all over the place, and you kind of look like the wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man kind of thing. Anyway, so now we go over to the AI where all the magic happens. We're going to take CPU difficulty, wha-bam, we're going to jack that up to 6. CPU strategy adjustment, take it from 3, put it up to 6. User strategy adjustment, leave that at 0. Otherwise, while you are in the mid game, you are controlling everything. Even if you just put it up to like 2 or 3 or something, you're in the middle of playing the game, and it's like your strategies will just start popping up on the screen and changing on you. And I find it makes it so that you and your team are no longer on the same page, and they'll start doing things that you don't necessarily want them to do, you know what I mean? And with new gen consoles, everything's moving so fast, those strategies pop up and go away too quickly, and they change too quickly, and it's tough to keep up with them. Anyway, so that is for the franchise mode. Like I said, with the difficulty, personally, I like it on Pro. I be a pro on like Superstar. It's not like I'm trash at the game or anything. I just find once you get past All-Star, once you get to All-Star up into Superstar and whatnot, I find like I can win 70 games a year, and that's not a problem. I'm probably going to break a controller in the process of getting through that season, and I'm probably going to end up with some pretty sore legs from punching myself in the legs, getting super, super angry all the time. So if you put it on Pro, it just slows the game down a little bit. Everybody's just a little less aggressive, and you can actually play a pretty realistic game of hockey if that's what you want. And that is definitely what I like. So anyway, there are my franchise sliders. Now we are going to reset everything, and we're going to do a whole new set for Be a Pro. All right, so here we go. All the way back for Be a Pro. Now let's just say you're just starting your Be a Pro. That means you are about what? 60, 67, 68 overall. So you're terrible, right? This, I'm going to say the difficulty will be All-Star for this, because I would not recommend being 68 overall and starting on Superstar. Some people can pull it off. Again, the whole rage thing happens. You know, it's not premium. Anyway, so for Be a Pro, let's say it's All-Star difficulty. You're just starting out, 67, 68 overall. Attribute effects would not go above 7. Broken stick frequency, just turn it down to about 30. Game speed, I take it from 3, put it down to 2. Fatigue effect, I'll say 75. 75. Fatigue recovery, just down to 30. Injury occurrence, I would say put it down to, you know what, honestly, 45. CPU 40, yeah, that sounds about right. All right. So there you go. The skating, I actually don't really change anything about the skating because I think it's perfectly fine. Again, though, I take those shot accuracies, but this time we're going to take every shot accuracy and just turn it down by 2. So one-timer accuracy from 50 to 48, shot accuracy from 45 to 43, slap shot accuracy from 40 to 38. Because otherwise, just too many slappers are going in, too many shots are going in, your goaltenders look like cheese. When it comes to passing, totally fine with the way this is. Puck control, totally fine. Again, goaltenders, take that cover frequency, put it up to 60. But with this one on Be a Pro, if you jack up the goaltending any more than just a couple in the first year, then goalies just all become Dominic Hasek. So for this one, I would say take all your reaction times and just put them up by 2. And that's it. Right? So goalie cover frequency up from, I believe it was 45 to 60, 50 to 52 for the cross crease reaction time, save reaction time, 50 to 52, goalie deflection reaction time, 50 to 52. Checking's fine. Penalties are fine. CPU difficulty adjustment on All-Star, I would put it up to 4. Strategy adjustment, I would leave it at 3. User strategy adjustment, leave it on 0. Be a Pro strategy adjustment, which I believe is that when you're in Be a Pro, it's just Be a Pro strategy adjustment, I think, is the only one. So that, just leave that one at 3. Don't change that. Otherwise, the way you play, the way your team plays, the way it just changes too much, and it's like everybody just gets lost. Everybody just gets off the same page, you know? So I feel like we did Be a Pro really quickly, and then I'm going to go back over here, and we are going to kind of go over it again. So this is for when you first start out. Remember that, right? You're on All-Star difficulty. You're like 68 overall. So once your guy, say, gets through his first season, he's up at like 78, 79 overall, 80 overall, entering his second year in the NHL. That is honestly when I would say put the attribute effects up to 10 out of 10. Game speed, I would put down at 1, because the faster you get, it's not just you that affects. Your speed rating when you're on the ice affects how fast the whole game plays. So after a little while, honestly, I like to put the game speed down to more like 1. And once your speed is like mid 80s to high 80s or something, everyone around you starts moving a lot faster as well. It's like everybody kind of slows down to your level a little tiny bit. But then once you get up to like 80 plus overall, then everybody in the league kind of speeds up with you, you know? So I put the game speed down to 1. Once you're in like your second year in the National Hockey League, the difficulty goes up to superstar and the attribute effects go to 10 out of 10. Now, once you get a little deeper in your career, I also like to take that shot accuracy down by 1 more, because everyone just kind of naturally gets a little better. Everybody, as you're getting better, everybody around you is kind of also getting better, right? So you're going to start to have some really, really high scoring games. So at that point, you take the goalie cover frequency, put it up a little bit more, and take your goaltenders and reaction time sliders and take them from 52, bump them up to 54. You go to the AI CPU difficulty adjustment, then you max it out, CPU strategy adjustment, jack that one up to 6 as well, and then you are legit. It's very tough to play. It's more advanced than everything. But the whole sliders thing, the last year I made the sliders video, and it was like, this is your one and done kind of thing. No, as you go along and play this game, you are going to have to tweak your own sliders as you go, because the game does change over time, right? So once you get a couple years into it, it's a very, very different game. You can take the game speed, put it down to 2, and it kind of feels like it's maybe a little bit slow when you're starting. You're like, oh, game speed at 2, I want to put it up to 3. Then you'll get to year 2 or year 3, and 2 or 3 game speed, suddenly it's like, man, everything's just happening so fast. I'm getting injured all the time. I never even have a second. The second I get the puck, everybody's just right on me and everything. And it's because the game just gets faster as you get faster naturally. So you just kind of need to keep taking the speed out of the game a little bit in order to keep it kind of feeling the same, like everybody moving at the same speed. And same thing with goaltenders. Over time, you're just going to have to jack them up a little bit. If you notice, say 4 or 5 games in a row, you're like, wow, we're scoring just a little bit too much here. We're getting like 6, 7 goals a game. Maybe it's time to up those goalie sliders by just a little bit, make those goalies tougher to score on. And you'll notice naturally the goal totals will kind of level off again. We'll kind of get back to normal. So anyway, that is going to do it for me for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this as much as I enjoyed making it. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. There's new videos coming all the freaking time. And until next time, you beautiful melon farmers, have a good one.